Good afternoon. Thank you again to our media partners for helping us keep Calgarians informed. I wanted to let you know that our American Sign Language interpreters were not available today, but they will be back in service tomorrow, and we apologize for the disruption in service. Today we're here with another update on the critical water main break, and we'll be hearing from Mayor Jody Gondek, Calgary Emergency Management Agency Deputy Chief Kobe Durr, and General Manager of Infrastructure Services, Michael Thompson. We'll hear their updates, and then there will be an opportunity to ask questions after. Please identify which media outlets you are with and keep your questions limited to one question and one follow-up. Thank you.
Oki Daranastada, Ambawastich, Tanse, and good afternoon, everyone. Over the last couple of weeks, I have reached out to community leaders to see if they would be willing to do public service announcements, reminding people to save water, and the response was overwhelming. There's been people like Debbie Edlin from the Chamber of Commerce and John Cornish from the University of Calgary who've been talking about the things they're doing, and they're encouraging their friends and family to do the same. And it's really the importance of why we need to band together right now to conserve water. I've also been spending time in community this weekend, talking to others about their experiences. I had the opportunity to catch up with Calgary Stampeders President Jay McNeil this morning to learn about how he's conserving water in his home. And he indicated that they are cutting down on their loads of dishes and laundry. And he said that even his 21-year-old son is getting into the habit of taking shorter showers. I also caught up with star receiver Reggie Beggleton, who is an avid fisherman, and he expressed his personal belief that water has healing properties and that conserving water right now is incredibly important for all of us. He encouraged folks to find a way to be near the river in a safe manner, to find a sense of calm, and also to use whatever measures you can in your homes to be saving water. You've been doing some amazing things in Calgary, Chestermere, Tsuut'ina Nation, Airdrie, and Strathmore to keep your daily consumption low. And I'm happy to report that yesterday's water usage was at 451 million liters of water. That's well below the threshold, and it's also a lower number than the previous 3 days. So I know you dug a little deeper, and I appreciate very much that you were able to find some more water savings. I know it means a lot to the fire department and to the folks in hospitals and care facilities who really rely on a safe supply of water. At the 5 hotspot sites, the focus this weekend has been all about welding. I want to express my gratitude to all of the private sector partners who have stepped up to help us with this work. When I reached out to ATCO in the early days of this emergency to see if we could draw on some of their experiences and ideas, we had a great conversation, and they also offered up their welding team. And I know that they've got members of that team out on the site, and General Manager Thompson has more on who the other private sector partners have been. Thanks to the dedication and hard work of the crews on site, I'm happy to report that it looks like that July 5th timeline is still well in hand. We've also had some great news from a traffic perspective. I've said that we need to get traffic flowing on 16th Avenue as quickly as we can, and I understand that we have a couple of more lanes open as of today. And as you are making your way through Montgomery or Bowness, make sure you take the time to pop into a local shop or a cafe to give them a little bit of business. They've been suffering over the last couple of weeks, and I know they would certainly appreciate your support. Finally, I want to report that we have opened up 4 additional sites for non-potable water for the general public to access. These sites are at Genesis Center, at Ambrose University, at Spy Hill Landfill, and at Bishop O'Byrne High School. And if you need some more information on these sites and how much water you can collect and what types of containers to bring, you can go to calgary.ca, and at the top you will see a banner. If you click on that, it'll give you all the information that you need. And I'm now going to turn things over to SEMA Deputy Chief Kobe Durr.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us today. The reports of the water feeder main continue, or the repairs in the water feeder main continue, and we are working as quickly and as safely as possible to restore city water supply. This remains our top priority. In Calgary, we know that water use tends to increase as temperatures rise. However, I'm thrilled that this was not the case yesterday, as Calgarians kept their water usage at 25% below typical use. It's incredible to see that despite the hot weather, Calgarians are still stepping up. We know that Calgary businesses are doing their part, with many finding innovative ways to conserve water. We'd like to thank them, as with our city recreation facilities and partners that have kept their pools closed. Our water use numbers show that this is certainly making a difference. The water you are saving leaves enough for critical uses like firefighting and hospitals. We know that outdoor water restrictions have been tough, especially for those who garden. We've asked you to avoid taking water from the river to ensure your safety. We don't want people slipping on rocks while carrying heavy buckets of water. That's why, as of noon today, we are bringing the river closer to you. We have made river water available to pick up from to all Calgarians at 2 stations at West Baker Park Boat Launch and Ogden Boat Launch. Today, we are adding 4 additional sites, 1 at each quadrant of the city. Free river water can now also be picked up at Bishop O'Byrne High School, the Genesis Center, Ambrose University, and Spy Hill Landfill. A map of these locations is available at calgary.ca. You must bring your own container to hold the water. For example, you can bring buckets or tubs or a water jug just like this. Please take only as much as you can carry for your safety and also to make sure that everyone can get what they need. To ensure this is a fair opportunity for all Calgarians, you can take up to 25 gallons or 100 liters of water. This water can be used to water gardens, vegetable flowers, outdoor and indoor plants. Just like we've been saying with watering from your rain barrels, water the root and not the fruit, particularly for if you're using edible plants or watering edible plants. And please rinse the produce thoroughly before consuming. I must emphasize again that this water is non-potable, which means it is not safe for drinking. The water can be used for hand washing as long as it has been boiled for 1 minute. It can also be used for cleaning purposes, but not for surfaces or dishes in contact with food. We expect these sites to be busy, so please stay in your vehicle until it is your turn to fill up. Be aware of the vehicle and foot traffic around you. There will be a hose to fill from a trailer with city staff there to assist. However, please note that our staff are not permitted to load containers into your vehicle due to safety reasons. Water is heavy, so we advise that you choose your containers wisely. For example, a 4-liter jug weighs just over 8.8 pounds. The Ogden and Baker Park River Boat Launch locations are still open to Calgary's construction industry as well. Another piece of good news for you is the opening of 16th Avenue. The work done on the original site of the water feeder main break that was completed earlier this week has allowed us to repave the road. Our final inspection yesterday showed no signs of damage, and we are pleased to announce that the section of 16th Avenue Northwest between Home Road and 49th Street Northwest is open. This is a milestone and will ease traffic somewhat as vehicles can now go westbound, as well as 2 eastbound lanes that reopened earlier this week. The road closure in the active repair zone remains in effect until the remaining repairs are complete. But I know this is an encouraging sign to Calgarians that we are actively working to get our services and our transportation back to normal as quickly and as safely as possible. For those people not complying with the water and fire restrictions, our bylaw officers have been responding to calls for service and issuing warning and violation tickets. Officers have had 2,528 water misuse calls since June 6th. 637 verbal warnings have been issued and 15 violation tickets have been issued. We have had a total of 196 calls for service regarding the fire ban, 20 written warnings, 78 verbal warnings, and 5 violation tickets have been issued. Our 311 team has also taken over 8,684 calls related to the water event. answering your questions and addressing any concerns you have. Again, we are also pleased to see Calgary businesses and Calgarians working hard to reduce water use. Your efforts are making an impact, and it's greatly valued by everybody at the city. While we've been here long days and our crews have been working around the clock to get this feeder main repaired, it's so encouraging to see that Calgarians truly care about each other and their community. Like you, we are also very much looking forward to resuming services and working hard to make that happen as quickly and as safely in a responsible way. Until then, thank you for continuing to make every drop count. I will now pass it over to General Manager Michael Thompson to give us an update on construction.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. And good afternoon. I'd like to give you an update on the repairs at the 5 hotspots. We continue to make good progress on all sites. First, an update on the location where we're not removing the damaged section of pipe, and instead we're reinforcing the pipe. The reinforcing steel was installed Friday and Saturday, and the concrete placement was completed yesterday evening. We're now curing the concrete prior to removing the forms and backfilling that section this upcoming week. I was at site this morning, and welding at the other 4 hotspots is progressing well. Installation of the adapters and the associated welding of the adapters is nearing completion. New segments of steel pipe will start to arrive to site today, and welding of the new segments of steel pipe to the adapters should start later today. As you heard, 16th Avenue near the original repair location is now open. And as you can see from this photograph, the entire 16th Avenue is open for business. We've really worked hard to keep access to all businesses along 16th Avenue, either from 16th Avenue, side streets, or alternative accesses which we've constructed. I would ask you that when you're down in the neighborhood to go and stop and visit a business on 16th Avenue. I know I've been walking along and stopping in at some of the businesses when I've been on site, and they would really appreciate it. I've also, in the past couple of days, let you know that we're updating our technical frequently asked questions on calgary.ca. We continue to update calgary.ca, so please go to calgary.ca for any answers to the technical questions you may have regarding the repair. Once again, I'd like to thank our dedicated crews working in the heat who are working tirelessly around the clock to ensure these repairs are completed quickly and safely as we move closer to returning the feeder main to service. I'd like to send our gratitude to a few welding companies, and there's a few here because we have a lot of welders on site right now. Ghostface Welding Limited, Clay Swanson Welding Limited, Dynamite Welding, Jordan Van Kampen Welding, D-Bar, Bull Tough Welding, C. Draper Welding, BW Incorporated, Atco Gas, and Cliffs Welding and Tapping Services. I'd like to thank them for their quick response and expertise in helping us to do all the welding required on site. As well, I would like to continue to thank the entire Calgary area community for your continued patience and support as we work to quickly and safely complete these repairs. I'll now turn it back over to Mayor Gondek.
Thanks for the update, GM Thompson. I'm really grateful to everyone who's working in the Emergency Operations Center on this repair and to everyone who's out on the crews that are on site. Thank you for your commitment and dedication to this work. I also want to thank the community leaders who have taken me up on my request to connect on this water emergency so we could share experiences and ideas on how to expedite the repair process and how to manage everything in the safest manner possible. And the thing that's been quite wonderful about those connections is the ability for us to create peer networks so that our city crews and employees have connections within the private sector to talk to experts about the things that they're experiencing and how they can get this work done together. As you can see, the plans laid out for repair work are largely going as planned. When we did encounter any changes, like the one spot that needed to have concrete reinforcement instead of steel pipe replacement, we immediately moved to the contingency plan. And on that particular site, we now know that the concrete pour has been completed. Crews continue to work safely and quickly to manage the repairs so that we can get to the process of flushing the pipe and testing the water quality and getting things back up to some semblance of normal. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 8:30 to provide you with an update on anything that's new as well as water usage. And tomorrow you'll see us again here at the Emergency Operations Center at 2 o'clock with a more fulsome update on how things are going. With that, I'll turn it over to Jamie to field any questions from the media.
So I was at the Baker Park water station. From our understanding, it was supposed to be available at 12. We spoke with many people who were there early. It was not there. Many frustrated people. Another person said they were in Ogden, and no one really knew, I guess, what was going on. They were turned down there. Just what's your reaction to this? Is the water there now?
Yeah, we apologize to Calgarians. We had a little delay in the water trucks arriving at both of those sites, so they were there just a little while after noon. So I apologize to any Calgarians that were there right at the stroke of 12 there. But they are on site now and they are available for delivery of water.
And I think you did address it, but second question, is it solely safety for why you don't want people going to the river to get their own water? And is that why we do have these stations?
Well, one of the key reasons is exactly that. It is the safety, right? When you think about how much water weighs, you think about a jug of this size and this, it's quite heavy. And walking on the river rocks, we do not want people slipping and falling, especially with those heavy weights. So definitely this is an opportunity for Calgarians to get water easier, much easier.
Is there anything else to it, or it is just safety?
The safety is one of the key pieces for sure.
Just a quick follow-up to that, actually. I think, did I hear somewhere that there's some sort of permit you almost need to take river water from the river?
So the City of Calgary has obtained permits to be able to pull river water from the river. It was essential to get that, and we thank the provincial government for their support in being able to get those for us.
Is that probably one of the reasons why residents?
That's exactly right.
My question was just to get clarity. The pipe, I'm going to mess this up, but the pipe that couldn't be replaced or wouldn't be replaced and is going to be reinforced instead was steel, wasn't it? And now it was, can you just clarify what went on there and where it's at now?
Yeah, thanks. So there's 5 hotspots that we had identified. And one of the hotspots, if you recall earlier this week, I showed a picture of how the pipe was going up an incline and then turning in a thrust block. And a thrust block is a large piece of concrete that holds the pipe down due to all the forces within the pipe with the water going through it. And so it was too risky for us to remove that section of pipe. So instead, we decided to reinforce the hotspot, and we're doing that by bringing in a lot of reinforcing steel that builds basically a rebar cage. If you've built anything at home using rebar, like in your sidewalk or any construction, we actually brought in very large rebar. It's bent around the pipe to follow the diameter of the pipe, and then it's a cage built around that, and then concrete poured in all around that rebar. So the rebar was installed on Friday night and Saturday morning, and then the concrete was poured Saturday evening. It's now curing. We'll remove the forms, and then we can start to backfill that this coming week.
Did you say that the new pieces of pipe were going in soon? I know they're being coated and sandblasted still, but are they getting close to being put in site, or did I miss that?
Yeah, so at 2 of the sites, the pipe should be arriving today. I say should be. I was there this morning and was told the pipe was en route and that it would be going and being installed today. On the 3rd location, which actually has 2 of the hot spots in it, we're hoping to have the pipe on site today or tomorrow. And we'll be welding that pipe to the adapters that the crews had been working previously to weld in. And then that will work to complete the welding process. We have to then do a lot of preventative work to prevent corrosion from coming on. So we'll apply some epoxies and some other materials before we can start to backfill and then fill and test that pipe.
City Bizarre with Global News. Exactly what changes have been made to the water treatment processes at Bears Paw and especially Glenbow Water Treatment Plant, supplying Calgarians with drinking water? Will these changes remain in effect after these repairs have concluded?
So at the Glenmore Water Treatment Plant, the majority of our water being serviced or servicing the city is coming from the Glenmore Water Treatment Plant. We've done a number of things just to really keep that plant going as it moves a lot of water across the city right now. The Bears Paw water treatment plant is still operating, but at a lower capacity, and so some changes have been made there. And then as we work to return the service back to normal, there's a number of steps. The construction of the feeder main and the repairs is just the first step. There's a number of steps that we'll have to do to return the service back to normal, and we'll be sharing more information about that this coming week.
Can you get the specific details later on?
We will be sharing details this week about how we'll be returning service to normal.
And for the mayor, Calgarians have been starved of 2 billion liters of drinking water. Businesses have suffered financially under restrictions, and citizens are being asked to reduce personal hygienic measures en masse. Has the city terminated any employment contracts in relation to this incident so far, or is this something we can expect to see as a result of the investigation?
The thing that Calgarians have been doing throughout this water emergency is banding together and understanding how reducing their water usage is critical to get us through this time. We understood very early on that we all had a role to play, and people have been saving water, and they've been sharing the ways that they've been doing that. They've been working very closely with each other and exchanging ideas. Businesses have done their part. They have talked about how they've shifted some of their practices to encourage less water usage. And so I think the people of Calgary and surrounding area understand how important it is to conserve water right now, and they've done a great job of it.
Thank you, everyone.